the school officially opened in 1979. We have been a culture of daily singing since day one, and that was a natural part of a daily gathering, in our case, a worship setting. So singing was normal, and nobody was talking about whether you had a good voice or a bad voice, and they just joined in. I must say that during my years, which there were 21 of them, I did not develop communal singing like you have it now with Aiko and Tanya and Jessica. Mm-hmm. I never did anything like having the faculty and the students play together. That's just glorious. Let me talk about art as an integral part of the school from the very beginning. Yeah. What does art do with a kindergartner? What does that mean, right? You could walk by schools and see, I was in one this morning, you know, this is how you draw a flower. Line, 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 stem, da-da-da-da. But in no way is that a connection from the child's own experience. An intimacy between the child and the flower, either with a paintbrush or with clay. So when there's this kind of intimate connection in art, a relationship develops, and that's where happiness and joy happen. Yeah, there's technical work later on, but it's essentially something intimate that belongs to the child. And we did that the first day of the school. I don't think we thought about it a lot, but we did it. And we displayed the art.
I remember Cindy Caparis. She was my first and second grade teacher, so my class had a lot of doubles. We had Cindy Caparis for first and second grade, and then we had Dee Mengi for third and fifth grade, and then we had Emily Seitzma for sixth and eighth grade. So we had a lot of teachers over and over, which was really cool to have in different kind of eras of our life. And I always think about how my mom talks about how Cindy had this way of making every child feel like they were the most special, like they were her favorite. Any child, when everybody kind of says the same thing.
My favorite time of year on Mustard Seed is during mini term.
I really like the Last Supper, and I liked Last Supper. Easter break, because it's a really fun holiday.
Before Las Posadas or before the spring concert, because everyone's not frantic, but is filled with energy and excited for the upcoming concerts.
So my favorite celebration is Passover. Ours. Yeah. But and we like it because of the chicken, and he likes it because of the chicken, and I do
and
too.
Singing.
Okay, I like it because of the ice cream.
Mostly the singing.
Mini term for me, definitely. Yeah, mini term. Or like when it's getting hotter, because I think we go out a lot.
Probably my favorite celebration during all this was Las Posadas. So
Crazy Californians are going to take people parading around the city in December? Are you nuts? You know, but we wanted to have an authentic experience, although it wasn't ours. Actually, it was ours because we grew up very near a Mexican community in California. But an inclusive, expansive is a better word than inclusive, authentic kind of a cultural experience. An experience people could interact in, they could dress up if they wanted, families could come. What changed is that then they got the professional mariachis to accompany, and as the school grew, there was a need for something kind of keep it more together, and there was a need for police escorts and stuff. But the essence of it now, there was a Mary and Joseph, typically selected from students who have been there since the beginning. A scripture reading on the birth of Jesus, some singing. I've seen it recently. It just seemed bigger. I don't remember anything really different. Do you?
You used to have a big party afterwards.
Oh yeah, that's big. That's big. Yeah, that's big. I forgot about that.
In the gym.
Yeah.
And then all the kids would rush to the candy.
Right. Lawsuit. Yeah. Right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I've kind of come into this community in different capacities. After college, I was a teacher here, and then after that, I became a parent here, so my kid comes here, and then now I'm also on the staff again. When I was younger, there was a student who passed away in a fire, and her mom created a fund for students after her to receive toward tuition, and I was a recipient of one year for that. I think it was my 6th grade year. That was a beautiful gift of financial generosity that really helped with my education, and I'm just really grateful for that. And her name is Catherine.
I'm remembering that there was a boy, I think it was the first year of the school, and his father was completely incapacitated. The mother spoke no English, but the mother was involved in a local church, and some of the kids from that church started coming to the school. So he showed up one day, I think he was in 3rd grade, and he came into the office and he said, I want to come to this school. And Peggy, who was our school coordinator, said, well, just have your parents come in and we'll fill out a form and blah, 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 blah. They can't come in, I want to go to the school. I don't know who paid his tuition. We never saw a parent in the school, but somehow someone or some people made that possible. And as far as I know, he was the only child who ever applied on his own without any parent help. It was kind of beautiful. Hudson Hike was an annual event, and one year there was so much fire damage that we couldn't walk along the trail. So we hiked across the George Washington Bridge. And I remember one boy just freaked out in the middle and said, I'm not going any further. Yes, you are. We have to get to the other side. But yeah, that was a tradition in the lower school. And then as the children got older, they went overnight to stay with farm families for a couple of nights.
Trip. I have pictures of the farm trip.
Yep, that was great. Yeah, thanks for the memories. Yeah.
And then 5th and 6th grade was Spruce Lake.
Went to Spruce Lake. They still go, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Spruce Lake was fun. I remember being in a cabin, so the boys were on one side and the girls were on the other side. I remember hearing this loud scream one of the nights. We're like, what's going on? What's going on? And Lewis had found a ladybug. But he was freaking out. We're like, it's a ladybug, bro. What are you talking about? But it was amazing because you're like, wow, you're that much of a city kid.
And a lot of our people had not spent a lot of time out in the country, And even among the most wealthy, you might go to your country house, but that's a lot different than being a kind of rustic cabin.
As a teacher, I think I've really grown to appreciate our spring term, because it's really when all of the work and the thinking we've done kind of comes out. There's often projects and bigger pieces of work that students can now do because they've got skills and so much more experience and knowledge. As a student, that Advent time was always really special. and the kind of like the waiting and the anticipation. And it was unique because the younger grades and the older grades were together, and we were like sharing in this experience.
My favorite is Lent, because I love the idea of sitting quietly as a community and thinking about the story and the artwork. It's cultivated with such beauty and intention that it really does draw you deeper into that time, and you can really have some special times with your students afterwards when they share why they drew what they drew and why they wrote what they wrote. It's really become my favorite time of year.
So I have to go Advent. Between the worship skits and the songs and coming together. So when I was in school at Mustard Seed, our celebrations were whole school, but our worships were separated. So it just made it so much more special having the whole school come together for those times.
I don't know how many people have come and gone through Mustard Seed, but there's this whole little world and culture that I'm part of and will always be, because I think people just light up and we immediately start swapping stories about, you know, being in this class or this teacher or this event or this celebration, and everyone has something to say, and it's always filled with a joy and a fondness that just is really heartwarming.
I'm in Grand Central, boogieing home from a church event, and all of a sudden I hear, "Mrs. McCallahan!" And I turn around and there's Lourdes running towards me. And we just nonstop chatted the rest of the way through. Then we parted ways just as I went to my gate and she went to hers, with promises that we would see each other and get in touch with each other once again. This doesn't happen very often in schools, and to have a wonderful student like Lourdes who went on to do these amazing things, and still we have that instant connection when we see each other, and just a desire to find out how each other is doing, friends and fellow workers in the kingdom of God. And it was such a gift to see her that day. It really, really made my heart bloom, and I felt that mustard seed love.
Something that always made Mustard Seed so special was a sense of belonging. And I don't think that leaving Mustard Seed, I ever didn't feel like I belonged here, even as an alum, even when I was just a parent. And I can see that in my daughter too. So, you know, she comes to school every day excited. Her teachers know her. She knows them. And I can tell she feels like this is the place that she belongs, in the same way that I felt that my whole life.